Hi, I'm Liv and I'm notorious for being bad at games. Ever since I was little, I always stumbled through games, and I had my brother or my friends beat parts of games that I struggled with. I hadn't even really heard of speedrunning until I met my partner, Ben, in 2021. This is where I was introduced to the GTA community, and slowly over the past few years I became engrossed with speedrunning. I loved watching speedruns and attending speedrunning events. I dabbled a little bit in speedrunning myself, with a few Vice City runs here and there, but I only ever played the game on and off. I'm not exactly good at the game. My PB is a 1:13:45 that I set in April of 2023. For reference, the world record is 48 minutes. A lot of GTA runners consider sub 1 hour to be the first real milestone, the first real test, and I really wanted to get there. I just always found it hard to motivate myself and to push myself and to get a better time until now. I recently attended AGDQ in Pittsburgh and I met a load of awesome speedrunners who massively inspired me to keep going and get better. This event was amazing, and once I got home at the end of January, I started thinking about speedrunning and wondered how I could motivate myself to grind and get better. This was until Ben proposed the idea of Fast February to me, mostly as a joke, but for some reason it stuck. How good could I get in February alone? So, I put a plan in place. I'm going to stream every day in February and practice Vice City, whether that's running the game or just going over certain missions. All of this work is with the intention of making my ultimate goal, a sub 1 hour time. However, I encountered a hurdle right away. I had plans on February 1st. So, after my friends rudely came over and Harry accidentally started my stream...
Has it just started now?
Yeah, for fuck's sake.
I actually didn't even mean to click it.
I started on February 2nd instead. I decided not to stream this day so I could get in a lot of vital practice that I needed going forward. I practiced spilling the beans, as the jump from the boat was something I was not able to consistently do. I learned to hold S, D and Shift as soon as I was in the cutscene and press space as soon as I gained control of Tommy. I knew I had nailed a trick if I could do it 5 times in a row, so I kept going until I got it perfectly 5 times. I also learned to hit the guy on the boat with a katana to minimise my damage and not get stuck on him. After this spilling the beans practice, I watched Ben deal with traffic during this mission, as I struggled a lot with traffic. I was flung into the water on a couple of attempts. He showed me how to power slide, something I would later forget and never attempt, as well as some decision-making skills when deciding which side to overtake vehicles on. Overall, it was a really productive first day. Day 3 was my first day in Fast Feb of attempts, and I hope to get a better time now that I know more about spilling the beans, as this was a huge time loss area for me. My first run went really well. I managed to get a 1:09, which was a 4-minute 45-second PB. I lost a lot of time due to messing up Guardian Angels and Copland, but my spilling the beans practice took me from plus 51 seconds to minus 11 seconds. I also managed to punch and chainsaw Lance for the first time. Not technically any faster, but I was so happy with it. I decided to do one more run, and I PB'd again, 1:08:32. This run had an awful early game compared to the first run, but I saved so much time by not messing up Copland. It still had a really bad Jury Fury, Guardian Angels and Hit the Courier, so these are areas I'll need to practice in the future. I also missed a call, so I was waiting quite a lot at the end. I can definitely save some time from this. The spilling the beans practice really paid off in these 2 runs, so my next course of action is to practice some individual missions. I felt super good and motivated after this first stream to continue with Fast Feb. A trend that I'm sure would continue. Right? On day 4, I decided to start the stream with a run again, and I PB'd again, 1:07:05. This just shows how much room for improvement I currently have in my PBs. During this run, I managed to despawn my bike twice, on Copland and on Cap the Collector. This lost me 2 minutes during the run, so I'm definitely capable of a 1:05 if I keep trying. I lost about 30 seconds during this run to Shakedown, so at the end of the stream I decided to practice it a few times using Ben's No SSU guide. You should definitely check this out, by the way, if you would like to learn this speedrun. The link is in the description. I learned to reload using replays, use the M4, and not just run up to the windows, and get the grenade section right. Overall a productive day, and 3 PBs in the last 3 runs. On day 5, the reality of this challenge started to sink in. Mistakes are bound to happen, as are off days, and this day was definitely one of those days. I got a run to Hit the Courier that was minus 1 minute, but I managed to crit the lady with the plates, which mission failed and ended the run. I tried a couple of runs after, but couldn't get very far with them, so I was feeling very unmotivated. My PB streak was over, and the lower my times got, the harder a PB was going to be. But I found my next mission I needed to practice. Hit the courier. I decided not to stream on day 6 as I was feeling really unmotivated from the previous day of attempts. I did some hit the courier practice instead, which involved learning to chainsaw the lady for safety instead of shooting her, and playing a replay as soon as I leave so that I walk back to the printworks as soon as possible. I also learned some backups in case things go wrong, such as a pay and spray location, if I get cops, and what to do if I miss her and they start leaving. This practice will be vital to make this mission less scary for me in future runs. Over the next few days, I was able to get my PB down even more. First to a 105.30, then down to a 104.36. I was feeling really good and motivated after this, and I really started to feel that I could get a sub 1 hour time now. I decided that to cut down these last 5 minutes, I need to practice some new tricks, so that's exactly what I did. I spent day 9 and 10 practicing 2 new tricks on the missions The Chase and Guardian Angels. These tricks would not only save me time, but would make these missions far more consistent for me. Day 11 was one of the more unproductive days in the challenge. I did some runs, but none of them made it very far. The only run that made it past Guardian Angels died due to getting killed during Copland. I identified the next mission that needs practice though, Mall Shootout. On day 12, I didn't feel 100%, so I decided not to stream. Working full-time and streaming every day was genuinely so exhausting during this challenge, so I gave myself a day off to rest and promised myself I would practice extra tomorrow to make up for it. Days 13 and 14 were spent practicing more missions. I practiced Mall Shootout to get a faster kill, saving me about 5 seconds. I also learned Cap the Collector Snipe, a more advanced trick that took me a while to get down. I managed to get it 10 times in a row, so I moved on to other things. I got a really good run in on day 14 with all these new tricks, but I managed to flip my boat on supply and demand, something I'd never seen before and didn't even know I could do. So I ended the stream with more CTC snipe practice and headed to bed. Day 15 was another offline day for me, as it was our friend Harry's birthday. I did a bit of Cap the Collector practice and learned that my reference I was using yesterday was wrong, so I needed to relearn this reference. This was super scary, as I was worried this would mess up runs for me in the future. Over the next few days, I did a lot of runs. I got a new PB on day 16, 103.36, and this run had a lot of things that went wrong, so I knew I could still save a lot of time. I did a practice session on day 17 to save more time with a slightly different route. I then did a run that died to CTC snipe. So on day 18 I did more Cap the Collector practice to hopefully stop this from happening again. I did a couple more runs, but they didn't seem to go anywhere, and the pressure of the end of the month was really starting to get to me. I was so worried that I wouldn't get this sub 1 hour in time. My luck turned around on day 19 though, and I managed to PB again with a 103.28. Only an 8-second PB, but I was still happy with the progress. On day 20, I ended up with another PB, 102.43. I still messed up CTC during these runs though. I didn't end up streaming on day 21. I did some offline practice of CTC and bar brawl, as quite a few runs recently were dying to bar brawl, so I wanted to make sure it would be fine in future runs. I found that having these offline days were essential to reset my mind and play a bit better after a little break. On day 22, I started with some more bar brawl practice before getting yet another PB, 101.56. Day 23 led to yet another PB, 1 hour 44. I'm so close to the sub 1 hour time now. I lost a minute during this run to just messing about when I shouldn't have been. I decided to learn the mansion warp on day 24 to save me even more time and allow more time to make mistakes during the run. A run on this day died to the rub outdoor, so I decided to spend day 25 practicing this clip. I also practiced the drive during Copland, which has lost me a lot of time in recent runs. My PB streak was slowing right down, and I managed to get 3 locked ambulances in a row, which was stressful and made me end the stream on day 25. I managed to fit in a very short stream on day 26 as we had evening plans. Nothing really to say about these though. All of the runs died. I am so bad at games. I feel so unmotivated. Moving on. I decided to start 4 hours earlier than I usually do on day 27 as the pressure was starting to pile on. I only had 2 days left to get the sub 1 hour time, and I really wanted it by the end of the month. I managed to get a really good run in, 1 hour 58, but lost a minute as I forgot to re-enter the heli. I took a break for dinner and came back to a new PB. 1 hour and 7 seconds. I was so disappointed by this because I got so close. The closest I've ever been to a sub 1 hour time. During this run, I lost 20 seconds on the fastest boat as I stopped to pick up health and messed around too much doing this. That was all I had time for today. If I'm going to get a sub 1 hour time during this challenge, it has to be tomorrow. It was the final day and I was feeling stressed. Before work, I learned ammunition skip as another way of saving a few seconds. At this point, I was looking for anything to get me there, and I honestly put way too much stress on myself. After a long day at work, I booted up Vice City and started attempts right away. I tried attempt after attempt after attempt. I got really close, but things just kept getting in the way. It was just after 11 PM when the final run died, and I thought to myself, this is it. I'm not going to do it. But I was still so happy with the progress I made this month. I started at 1 hour 13 minutes 45 seconds and made it all the way down to 1 hour and 7 seconds. Insane progress in a month. However, one thought occurred to me and I asked my chat, does it still count as during Fast Feb if I start the run before midnight? The general consensus was yes, so I decided screw it. One last run. So I did it. I threw everything I had into this last run. My practice on Mall Shootout paid off, as well as the hours I spent practicing Guardian Angels and the chase. All of these missions went pretty flawlessly. I golded fastest boat and continued to gain more and more time as the run went on. My new supply and demand route went well, glitching cars faster after say yes sir. I was 30 seconds ahead going into the endgame. So I had to concentrate. I got the barrel snipe thanks to my practice. I had a pretty safe cop land in spilling the beans, and I decided to just not do CTC snipe as it's just not something I'm consistent at. And then we were at the final mission, 21 seconds ahead. I'll just let the final clips speak for themselves.
Good job.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I don't even want to look, I don't want to know. Has it gone past one? No, don't tell me.
Just concentrate. Doesn't matter. Don't answer. Just concentrate. Just go for him. Just lock in. Lock in.
Okay. I don't want to know. If it has, it's fine. GG. Fast Feb. GG, Fast Feb.
That's not good one.
I'm fucking crying, dude. Oh my god, I actually did it.
I did it! 59:54. I cannot believe it. On the very last run, on the very last day. I couldn't make this up if I tried. All my hard work paid off. All the bad days, all the practice, all the runs. I guess that answers the question. How good can I get at Vice City in a month? I can get a sub 1 hour time. So, this challenge is one of the best things I've ever done. I'm so proud of myself for how far I came in a month, and I'm so excited to see how much further I can go. I also only had 27 days, as I stupidly picked the shortest month and started a day late. So the fact that I still managed to do it makes me so happy. During Fast Feb, I got 12 PBs, which is crazy to me. I know I shouldn't compare myself to other people, but I did find it super hard during the challenge to not worry about how fast other people made progress. I seemed to only be able to shave off 1 minute at a time, whereas other people managed to get 5-minute PBs all the way down to sub 1 hour. This made me feel super defeated during the challenge, when in reality I should have been so happy with the progress every day, and I think the consistent PBs did help motivate me to keep going. I also put way too much pressure on myself during this challenge. Getting a sub 1 hour time is challenging enough without time pressure as well, and it was definitely super hard to get myself to keep going, but I'm so glad I did. In conclusion, I'm a gamer, I'm so good at Vice City, and next up, all missions. Thank you so much for watching. This is my first ever scripted video, so I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, maybe you could subscribe, and maybe I'll make one again in the future. Thank you. What a way to end it! Holy shit, I'm so glad I did it.
The script couldn't have been
How
better.
good is the
Literally
script
the
gonna
last
be? GG, in brackets, Eben, I'm under your foreskin.